This is the OTB Television Network, a service of Capital District Off-Track Betting.
Good morning. Welcome to the Handicappers Report on yet another chilly morning here in upstate New York. It's Wednesday morning. Seth Merrow and Jeff Carl. Jeff sitting in for Anthony Mormino this morning. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Seth. Yeah, Anthony and I are just flip-flopping. He'll be in for me tomorrow covering Aqueduct. I got Tampa today. So.
Very good. So we will live vicariously through both Tampa and Gulfstream. The Live Vicariously track yesterday was Turf Paradise. Certainly enjoyed that. And this time of year, when you can look at some of these tracks down in that southern tier, including fairgrounds and whatnot, absolutely enjoy that. That said, fairgrounds has been, everybody's getting hit by the cold weather over the past few days, including the South. Now, they're not certainly getting hit with the kind of cold weather that we're getting hit with, but Fairgrounds has had some weather. I read, in fact, training Monday and Tuesday, or maybe yesterday and today, the morning training hours were canceled because of the cold weather down at Fairgrounds. Sam Houston yesterday, I didn't watch the entire, but Mike Jarbo looked at that because he was supposed to do parks in here yesterday. They did cancel. But Sam Houston was expecting some freezing rain down in that area yesterday. So Turf Paradise, though, we talked with Michael Chamberlain yesterday. They were looking at nice 70-degree weather, and yet you just took a look at Tampa a little bit earlier with the
they're getting brutalized today. It's going to be in the 50s and a little bit of some rain, so it's going to be a tough day for them down there at Tampa Bay.
Still said 50 seems like a heat wave.
It certainly does. -4 today in Saratoga when I got home.
I on the radio on the way in, they were saying -1, and it felt like it. Just wanted to touch on, again, I brought this up earlier in the week, or the end of last, I guess coming into the weekend. There was an article in the Racing Forum going back to New Year's Day by Marty McGee. It profiled trainer Kim Hammond, who is a Kentucky-based trainer. And I have to admit, at the time, I was unfamiliar with her. But she is now sitting on becoming the first female trainer to win 2,000 races in North America. She's at 1,999 wins. And she had a horse in a couple of days ago called Miss Bulldog. Down at Turfway. Miss Bulldog wound up finishing 4th, but I just wanted to alert people, watch Friday at Turfway because she has another horse in. She has a horse in the 8th race called Limerick Lady. Trainer's name is Kim Hammond, set to become the first female trainer in North America to get 2,000 wins. And on Friday, she's going to be on the verge of that with Limerick Lady. So just kind of keeping our eyes on that as she's sitting on the edge of a pretty nice record.
Tremendous accomplishment. 2,000 wins is a lot of wins, and obviously there's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work that goes into that. So tip of the cap to Kim Hammond.
Yeah, no question about it. And Jeff, we talked about the cold weather. I've talked with you about it before, about riding in the cold weather, as you are a former jockey. And you've stated before, cold weather didn't bother you that much, but typically when we've had the conversation, it hasn't been like this. Did you ever ride in these kind of cold, extreme cold weather circumstances?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, there's not an awful lot you can do. And to be honest with you, it is more difficult when you're an exercise rider in the mornings. Yeah. I mean, that's probably the coldest part of the day.
Although they can bundle up a little more.
They can bundle up a little more. But you're also dealing with horses where, you're trying to restrain them. And the more that you hold on to the reins, the less circulation you get in your hands. And your hands just freeze up, your feet freeze up. As far as the jockeys are concerned, it's difficult, but you generally have a pony with you going to the post parade, so you don't really have to take a hold of your horse that much. They have shortened post parades. And then once you get into the race, you're usually fine. And they've come a long way with lighter apparel that keeps you warm. I mean, we used to wear leotards and tights and everything, but they have much better things nowadays that are lighter. Under Armour has the kind of things like that to help keep you warm. It's just something you deal with. I mean, it's not ideal, but I mean, once you get going, you get into a rhythm, you're fine usually.
And what about track conditions? Because I know for the maintenance people, we were talking to Nancy Uri Holthus last Thursday, and she was talking about the overnight there, Thursday into Friday, was supposed to be very cold down in Arkansas, and she was talking about kind of an all-night track maintenance thing, so they would be prepped for Friday. So the track maintenance side is tough with this kind of super cold weather. Did you find that when you went out in the morning or in the afternoon, the track condition was something you had to pay extra attention to?
One of the things you always had to pay attention to in the morning was the condition of the horse pass, because the
that's
main priority, the main priority is the track, and there's only so much manpower to go around. And as long as you have the manpower to keep working that track all night long, they do a great job. But can be very dangerous on the horse pass. A lot of freezing up. There's always a lot of water's used in the mornings, even in the wintertime, washing horses' legs off. You get a lot of drainage issues. I remember being at Belmont one winter. I coming off the training track, I had a filly Spook, and she darted, and she went right across this ice that had formed when, from water running down from a certain barn. And yet, I mean, we went down. Fortunately, neither one of us was seriously hurt. I had a nice big cut on my nose, and she got right up. But the horse pass can be very, very dangerous. You have to be quite careful getting to and from the racetrack. And sometimes when they cancel, you see them cancel early. The aqueduct, it can be really difficult getting the horses onto the trailers, onto the transports to get over to aqueduct. So there's a lot of factors that are behind the scenes that you don't necessarily know about.
Yeah, I'd never even thought about that. But being up in Saratoga in the summertime and watching them where we were positioned with our outdoor studio, then you see the horses a lot walking on the paths, but also on the pavement, on the asphalt up there, which is a kind of a skittish surface for them. And in this time of year, you can get a little bit of that black ice. You get a little dusting, and all of a sudden that can become slippery. So it's doubly dangerous.
Yeah, and they have aluminum shoes on. So aluminum shoes on pavement or ice is just not a good combination.
Yeah. And now, what about on the trainer side? Any special things that are done on the backstretch for the horses? Winter or in the summertime up at Saratoga, you get the heat, and you look in the back of the stalls. There'll be fans blowing or anything. Anything you do in the wintertime to?
Well, they're blanketed. Obviously, you try to keep the windows closed in the barns. Try to keep the front door closed, the bottom door, so that they can have a place where they can get down into their straw if it's windy or cold or something. That's about all you can do.
And what about? Typically, I think isn't there always water available to them during the day? And so what do you do about that? Because in this kind of weather, it's going to freeze.
You know what? The winters I spent at Belmont Park, I don't ever recall the water buckets inside the barn freezing. Like I said, if you can close the windows and the doors and everything, and just the heat from the horses kind of keeps the barn warm enough if you're in a large barn with a large number of horses. When I had my farm in Maryland, yes, you dealt with frozen buckets all the time, outdoors. Saratoga, when it gets late in the season up there, those barns are not meant as winter facilities. They don't have front walls, they don't have windows, you can't really close up. Essentially you're in run-in sheds. I have seen that. But generally, like I said, the 2 winters that I spent down at Belmont as a trainer, I don't recall the water buckets ever freezing inside.
All right. So again, it's not just the fans; it is the behind the scenes as well that is affected by the cold weather.
My wife Sharon and I were going out the other day, and I said, now I wear gloves just to drive. And I'm like, I cannot believe how wimpy I've got. And I said, remember when I trained horses, my hands were cut and sore and all dry and everything. I'd be out there breaking ice with my fist and this, and now I can't even drive a car without gloves on.
You're living in the lap of luxury. No question about it. Yeah, it is interesting. There are things that go on in this kind of weather that we don't even think about a little bit.
When you hear that they're, horses horses that may run Triple Crown Trail, they take to Florida. There's reasons for it. It's just so much easier to train a horse with better weather conditions. And
the interesting one, that Samrat, who is coming up this weekend in the Withers, they shipped that one down, won the race in New York, then shipped down to, I believe, Palm Meadows, and the horse has been down there training, and the game plan is you just know you're going to get the training in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, they do a great job in New York having that training track ready, just about any day that they can, unless they get completely bombarded with snow. but it's just so dangerous getting back and forth on those horse paths with ice. And like you said, you have to cross pavement that can get slick. It's just so dangerous, and it's just one variable you don't have to worry about. That's why you see so many horses going down to the warmer climes.
Yeah. All right, speaking of the warmer climates, a little bit later on, I've got Gulfstream. Just going to kick things off, though, with Tampa for this afternoon. Tampa's opener is a maiden claimer, 10,000 to 12,500. These are 3-year-olds going 7 furlongs.
5, 4, and 1 in the Tampa opener. I went out to the number 5, Tazdu. You know, he tried 2 turns his first Tampa start, and that was for the 12-5 maiden claiming, and just too far. I mean, he set the pace that day and ended up finishing a distant third, but now they're bringing him back to 7 furlongs, which should be a very good distance for him. Couldn't quite get the job done at 6 furlongs at Churchill Downs and Indiana Downs, but he is posted well out there toward the outside. So let's put Tazdu, number 5, into the top spot. For second, I went with the number 4, Big City Guy. The morning line is 3-2. Seth, I'm not that great with math. I'm not sure what that exactly means. And he's coming off 2 very bad turf efforts, going back to dirt where, you know, he was second for 25,000 at Calder. My question mark with him is that he hasn't tried the Tampa Bay Downs main track, and to me that is an issue as we go out through the course of the day. Tampa Bay Downs racetrack is the main track is a little bit quirky. It benefits you a great deal if you train over it on a daily basis, or if you've actually had a race over it. Usually takes horses a little while to get accustomed to it, unless they're tons the best, like Verrazano was in the Tampa Bay Derby last year. But it's a big advantage if you're either training over it or have run over it, and Big City Guy hasn't done that yet. So I'm going to put him in the second spot, just based on the fact that for 25,000 he was second at Calder. And for third, I went to the inside to the number 1, 3 Men On. He's dropping down from 32,000, and he displayed improved speed, which was his first start on the dirt. They tried him 2 turns on the Tampa turf, couldn't quite handle it, and then he actually showed a little bit of speed when they moved him to the dirt and sprinting, and now he's dropping even farther. So 5, 4, and 1 in the Tampa opener.
I have played enough to know 3-2, you get $5 back.
Okay.
$5 win price. The ones that I found very bizarre were on the Horse Players series that is now on the Esquire Network. The debut show was last Tuesday, and the second show was last night. I haven't seen it yet. I'm catching it. If you haven't seen it, you can go to the Esquire Network website, and about a day after it airs on television, it'll be on the website. So I'll watch the second episode either today or tomorrow. But last week, the debut episode, they kept throwing up odds like 9-4, and I thought, how'd they come up with that?
I was just, I've seen 3-2 before.
And again, that one is kind of like, oh, okay, they're throwing that one out there, but 9-4, where did they come up with it? And I'm wondering if it's just the fact that the folks who produced weren't quite sure and kind of made up their own. I'm sure it was accurate, although I say I'm sure it was accurate. They had groupie dollars 20-1 in the Cigar Mile when she was the even money favorite. So the whole odds thing was a little bit strange. But they had these quirky odds caught my eye a couple times. Second race at Tampa this afternoon, maiden claimer, 20 to 25,000. These are 4-year-olds and up. They will go 7 furlongs.
2, 3, and 4 here, Seth. Number 2, Oceanfront View. You know, he ran evenly in his debut for 25,000, the same level he's coming back to. That was his debut on January 10th. They're going to bring this horse right back. I think he'll benefit a great deal from the experience and the conditioning. And, you know, I've said many times there's not an awful lot you can do to substitute just getting a race under him sometimes. And, you know, I mean, he went off a little bit more than 6-1 that day, so he took a little bit of money, not an awful lot of money. I like the fact that jockey Harry Vega rode him that time and stays aboard. You can make the case that maybe Harry didn't have another choice or another option in the race, but you know what? I've ridden plenty of first-time starters and told them, don't put me back on. At least Harry wants to ride this horse back, and to me that's a good indicator that there's room for improvement for the son of Indian Ocean. So let's put Oceanfront View into the top spot. For a second, I went to number 3, KC Kid. This is a firster by Unbridled Energy. Has some nice works and is training at Tampa Bay Downs, as I mentioned just a minute ago. I think that's very, very key for horses to either train over the racetrack or run over it. And, you know, again, some very, very nice works for KC Kid. I just think that the 7 furlongs is kind of demanding first time out. I think he's going to make a good account of himself, but I can only put him in the second spot. But he still is 5-1, so there is a little bit of value there. For third, I went with the number 4, Kiwi Notion. And he hasn't run since making his debut at Keeneland in October of 2012, so he's been off over a year. That day he ran for 30,000 maiden claiming, had a wide, even trip, and he is working at Tampa Bay Downs, but certainly doesn't hurt him. I just don't see an awful lot of works there, so I'm thinking that he may need a race. The work on January 11th was solid, but I don't know if he's got enough of a bottom to him coming off well over a year layoff, but good enough to be in the mix for me. 2, 3, and 4 in the Tampa second race.
Third race this afternoon at Tampa Bay Downs is a maiden claimer, claiming tags 45 to 50. These are maiden 3-year-old fillies going 6.5.
Well, 1, 6, and 4 here, the number 1 estuary. A nice debut on October 16th at Keeneland, and that was for maiden 35,000. Working well for his return. Again, I like to see horses that are working well at the Tampa surface. On January 10th, 102. Breezing, which was a bullet work that day. So I think Joan Scott, Daniel Santino aboard. I think they're bringing this horse back with some good solid works on the Tampa surface. Let's put the number 1 estuary into the top spot. For second, I went to number 6, Miss Motivation, who's moving up for 25,000. We've talked about this many times here in Handicappers Report. That's not necessarily a bad thing when the connections think enough of them that they want to move them up off a nice debut effort. She was an even second that day. She wasn't bet either. She was a little over 17 to 1. So Kathleen O'Connell probably doesn't want to give this horse away after that nice performance. Let's put her in the second spot. And for third to number 4, Belladini, dropping down from maiden special weight, ran twice at Tampa Bay Downs. Her best race was at Gulfstream Park for maiden 32,000. So this is probably a comparable level. So let's put her in the third spot. 1, 6, and 4 in the Tampa third race.
Fourth race this afternoon is a conditional claimer, a calendar condition claimer, $5,000 tags, 4-year-olds and up. They will go 1 mile and a 16th.
4, 1, and 8. You hear the number for Saturday in May. You know, I have to think he needed his last start. It was his first start at Tampa this year. He hadn't run since September. He spent the summer at Canterbury Downs. And he was a distant third at this level last time out, and what I'm thinking is that he probably needed the race. It certainly doesn't hurt you, although he is training at Tampa. It just doesn't hurt to get a race under their belt. Probably didn't have him at 100% that day. So let's put Saturday in May in the top spot with Dean Butler aboard. I'm pretty sure Dean is a Saratoga native. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but I'm pretty sure Dean is from Saratoga. So good to see a local boy still out there riding and doing well. For second, I went down to the inside to number 1, Antrell, who's 2 to 1 in your morning line. And, this is a Calder shipper coming from Calder Park. Winless all of last year, except this horse ran at Golden Gate, Parks, Monmouth, Meadowlands, Laurel, and Calder. So it's been all over the country and couldn't quite get it done. Has the rail and has some early foot. They are taking the blinkers off this horse, so maybe he'll relax a little bit. But you know what? I don't know if that's a great move, but we'll have to see. But again, this horse 2 to 1, but hasn't won in well over a year, so I think he might be a little bit vulnerable. And I'm just hoping my top choice Saturday in May benefits a great deal from that last start. For third, I went out to the outside to number 8, I Can and I Will. Second this level in his previous outing on January 14th was claimed that day. They're going to put him right back into the same spot. A repeat performance puts him on the board. 4, 1, and 8 in the Tampa fourth race.
Fifth race this afternoon at Tampa is a maiden claiming event, 10,000 to 12,500. These are 3-year-old fillies. They will go 3/4 of a mile.
11, 12, and 8 here. And the number 11, Red Brick, I'm going to make my play of the day. 10 to 1 in the morning line, and you're getting the Ronnie Allen connection. Ronnie Allen trains, Ronnie Allen Jr. rides. And you know what? This horse took a little bit of money in her debut on January 5th at this exact same 12.5 maiden claiming level. I went back and took a look at this replay because the comment was hop, start, drift in evenly. And yeah, she broke a little bit. She did hop at the start. She took her a little while to get into rhythm. But what I liked is that the jock Ronnie Allen Jr. gave her a very nice education from there. I think he realized he wasn't going to win the race. But at this point, let's just give her a good education. He got her in between horses, got her behind horses, and she finished up okay. She finished 5th, got beat a little bit less than 7 lengths. And again, she was bet that day, and maybe today's the day you want to have her because with a better break and the nice education that the rider gave her, Again, he's coming right back to ride this horse. She's posted toward the outside, so with a clean break, I think she's going to be dangerous at 10-1 in the morning line. It's going to be interesting to see if that kind of holds up. For second, I went to the number 12, Magnificent X, who's dropping down from 25,000. You know, she regressed slightly in her second start. She had a troubled debut where she finished third and then came back, it was like 5-2 and was regressed a little bit. But I think, Seth, that may have been what I like to call a second start syndrome, especially for a filly that ships in. She's not stable there at Tampa Bay Downs. A lot of times they don't know what's going on the first time they run. They ship over there. They have no idea what's going on. She runs the race. And now, when that happens again, they start anticipating. It just happens so often that just by looking at her page with that regression for no apparent reason, I'm thinking maybe this is a filly that maybe got anticipating her second start. They shipped her over. Now she knows what's going on. They get a little bit anxious, and maybe she didn't fire her best bullet. But with that experience under her belt, maybe the third time will be the charm for her. I'm going to throw her into the second spot. And for third, I went to the number 8, Strawberry Wine, who's exiting her debut race is the same as Red Brick, and she finished well in front of Red Brick that day, my top choice, and she was second, but she had a nice clean trip. So I'm thinking with the fact that Red Brick just didn't get off well, that there's more room for improvement. You're getting 10-1 with Red Brick. You're getting 8-1 with Strawberry Wine, and we're throwing the 2-1 in between. 11, 12, and 8 in the Tampa Bay 5th race.
All right, we will take a break. When we come back, more from Tampa a little bit later on, Gulfstream Park. Stay tuned. I'm Seth Merrill. Join me weekdays at 10 for Racing Across America. We'll look at important races from around the country, get insight from top handicappers and analysts, and preview the upcoming week in racing. That's Racing Across America, weekdays at 10, right here on the OTB TV network.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of ranch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at capitalotb.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got a move that tells me what to do. If you don't, brothers and sisters, then you won't know what it's all about.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Hey race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, and amazing Vegas-style atmosphere. The Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Wednesday morning. We will continue now our look at Tampa Bay Downs for this afternoon. Their 6th race, conditional claiming event, $25,000 tags, non-winners of 3 lifetime the condition. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, 1 mile on the grass.
3, 5, and 10 here, Seth, and I did look at the weather at Tampa Bay Downs. They're calling for occasional showers, mid-50s. I couldn't pull up what the track condition was. I mean, if they're on the grass or they're not, so I'm going to go with the fact that they're going to be on the grass today. And as I said, I'm going to put the number 3, Thrice Nice, in my top spot. I think you just draw a line through her last race, which was an off-the-turf event. She was a good third before that in an entry-level allowance race. And this is the same connections I picked earlier. A trainer named Burnell Roan with Dean Butler aboard. Obviously, they spent their summer at Canterbury Downs, so there's quite a bit of familiarity there with trainer, jockey, and horse. And I think that goes a long, long way. Thrice Nice won or never won 2 life at Tampa last year, so obviously she does like the Tampa Bay turf surface, and she almost got through her Never Win 3 life at Canterbury Downs. And I like the fact that I think she's going to have an awful lot of pace to run into, which is what she likes to have. So I'm going to put number 3, Thrice Nice, at 6-1 into my top spot. For second, I went with the number 5. She's a smitten kitten. She got through her first 2 conditions in Illinois-bred races, and then may have been a little bit overmatched in her first Tampa start, which was at the $32,000 optional claiming level. Probably just a better spot for her today. So at 4-1, Daniel Centino, let's put her in the second spot. And for third, I'm going to take a chance with the number 10, Reinvested. She had a disastrous debut in November at Hawthorne Park, but then she's won 2 in a row. I say disastrous. I mean, the comment was served, bothered, full break, so she probably made either a left or right-hand turn coming out of the gate and eliminated herself. But since then, and since moving to Tampa, she's won 2 in a row. One was for maiden 7,000. She won that quite easily. And then she won quite easily her Never Win 2 life for 16,000. Going to be trying turf for the very first time, but a filly a little bit on the roll. So let's put her in the mix at a nice price at 12-1. 3, 5, and 10 in the Tampa 6th race.
Conditional claimer in race number 7 at Tampa, $8,000 tags, non-winners of 3 lifetime the condition. Fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up, going 7 furlongs.
1, 5, and 7 here. The number 1, she was free, but she surprised everybody at 29-1 in her last start. That was on January 8th, and that was the Never Win 2 life for 8,000. So this is the next logical step up, the exact same 7 furlong distance. And you know what? Maybe the one turn was the key, because this is a filly that spent the better part of last year at Mountaineer Park, and they have to go around several times for those distances. So maybe going 7 furlongs, only 1 turn. She thought this was awful, awful nice. And I like the fact that she is posted down the inside. You'd have to think that the jock, with that performance last time, is going to kick her right out of there. And let's just think that she was free and put two of them back to back, and let's put her into the top spot. For second, I went to the number 5, Exotic Band. She closed for second in her last race, which was an 8,000 Never Win 3 life, and she was 135-1 that day, Seth. You're not going to get that today. You're going to get Vernon Bush aboard, who rode her last time. You know what, Seth? I rode Vernon on a filly that I owned out in Suffolk Downs several years ago, and all I'm going to say is, Vernon, you owe me $10,000. But you know what? If she can repeat this one, she can be up there for second. For third, I have the number 7, Short and Sassy. Short and Sassy, pretty simply, was third behind Exotic Band. So I went with a filly on top that's moving into the Never Win 3 life for the first time, but it's coming off a decent win with the 5 and 7, who were second and third at this condition last time. 1, 5, and 7 in the Tampa 7th race.
I've heard that story, and you were very judicious this morning with your reply. The 8th race at Tampa Bay Downs this afternoon, conditional claimer, $12,500. The tags, non-winners of 2 lifetime the condition. Fillies and mares 4-year-olds and up, 6.5.
Well, it's a filly my wife and I bred and we owned. My wife is 4'11", and she wanted to punch Vernon in the face. We're going to go 9, 4, and 7. The number 9, Georgetown Style, I'm putting on top, and I'm sitting right next to a Syracuse alum. Maybe not a safe thing to do, but I think Georgetown Style, the horse, here is moving up from 8,000 to 12.5. I don't think that's a very big move, and was second her last 2 races. She posted well toward the outside. Again, was second last 2 times at the 8,000 Never Win 2 life level. Has enough early foot to be involved early, and I think she can get through this condition today, even with a little bit of an elevation from 8,000. I don't think that's a very big deal. So I put the number 9, Georgetown Style, in the top spot. For second, I went with the number 4, Karaoke Rose. It took 10 starts to break her maiden, and then Seth, she just cat-hopped by 10.5 lengths. When she ran at the Tampa surface right before the end of the year, December 28th. So this is the next logical step. Again, this is Willie Martinez rode her that day, comes back and rides her again today. Again, 8,000 to 12,000. I don't think it's a very, very, it's not a very big move. So I guess this is the next logical step. And obviously she was bet down that day. They liked her. Let's put her in for the second spot. For third, I went with the number 7, Purged and Proper. If I'm reading this right, Seth, on December 18th, she ran at Gulfstream Park 150 yards and was closing that day. Only got beat in neck. She couldn't win that one. They sent her to Tampa. And, again, she won quite easily, setting the pace for 8,000. Again, I don't think any of these, all three of mine are moving from 8,000, 12,000. I don't think it's a very big jump. 9, 4, and 7 in the Tampa 8th race.
The ninth race this afternoon at Tampa is a plain vanilla climber, $25,000 tags. They're scheduled to go a mile on the grass.
1, 8, and 9. The number 1 Electro Peg. Going to move back to the turf, and what I thought was impressive is as this filly came off a layoff, hadn't run since September at Indiana Downs. They put her on the dirt, and she just wired, the entry-level optional claiming 16,000 on the dirt, and they're moving her back to the turf. And I thought that was a very impressive performance, going 2 turns at Tampa Bay Downs. I think benefits also, Joan Scott, the trainer, is stabled right there at Tampa, so was training over the Tampa surface, as I said. But I think that was a very nice performance. That was December 26th, so they've given her plenty of time to rebound off that big effort. Now she's moving back to the turf where she's won a couple races. So let's put Electro Peg 6-1 8-1 with Daniel Centino into the top spot. And for third, I have the number 8 Quinnichette. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And these are the same connections I talked about earlier. Brunel run with Dean Butler, so I'm expecting a big day from them today. And again, I think she needed her previous race. She had been off since September. Came back and ran in the $30,000 level in Tampa. Just ran nice and evenly, but should benefit. And she did win at Tampa last year, so that's a good sign. Let's put Quinnichette into the second spot. And for third and number 9, Play Solel, 15-1 in the morning line. This filly has been doing nothing but sprinting, 5 and 6 furlongs. Now they're going to be stretching out to a mile. I think she'll take them as far as she can and maybe hold on for third at a decent price. 1, 8, and 9 in the 9th and final at Tampa.
All right, we'll take our next break. When we come back, we'll move on to Gulfstream Park. Stay tuned.
This is Steve Beck. Join me Tuesday through Saturday here on OTB TV for At the Races, my Sirius XM daily news magazine of the thoroughbred industry. Handicapping, interviews, analysis, everything you could want. 6 a.m. OTB TV.
Hey, race fans, head down to the all-new Clubhouse Racebook and get in the game. With live horse racing on more than 250 flat-screen TVs, state-of-the-art wagering terminals, fantastic food and drinks, an amazing Vegas-style atmosphere with seating for nearly 900 of your closest friends. Conveniently located at 711 Central Avenue, right off Exit 5 of I-90 in Albany, the Clubhouse Racebook is the better choice.
Each morning on the OTB TV network, you get the very best in horse racing programming. Weekdays begin with the Handicappers Report, where professional handicappers share their selections and analysis of the day's racing. Followed by Racing Across America, a daily conversation with racing personalities from around the country. Saturdays include Down the Stretch, where Mark Casano speaks with the biggest names in racing. And Sunday mornings, it's Loose on the Lead, where Steve Bick and I offer news and a unique lineup of weekly guests. All here on the OTB TV network.
Wagering at CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Capital Bet TV, the fastest and easiest online wagering experience where you can monitor 5 different tracks simultaneously. 2. Capital Bet Express. Its straightforward program layout and interactive handicapping information lets you build your wager quickly and efficiently. And 3. Capital Bet Pro, designed especially for the professional horse player. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Missed one of our TV shows? No worries. Now you can catch all your favorite programs online. Simply log on to CapitalOTB.com and click on the YouTube link at the bottom of the homepage. And look for our new podcast coming soon. CapitalOTB.com. Log on today.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. Before the break, I gave you my selections for today's 9-race Tampa Bay Downs card. It is Seth's turn to give you his picks for today's 10-race Gulfstream Park card. We're going to start off with race number 1. It is 6 furlongs. It is a claiming event for 4 and up, and the claiming price is $8,000.
And just to go back to yesterday, did Turf Paradise yesterday and just got back on the game a little bit. After Sunday, Gulfstream, Monday, also Turf Paradise. Those were a little dull. I said the Monday was kind of a wash when I talked about it yesterday. But Turf Paradise yesterday, 4 winners on top in 9 races. As an exacta guy, I was kind of struggling a little bit. I called one play of the day yesterday and ran first and third in there. So we missed there. Had a little bit of a exacta in the first race with the second choice over the third choice. over-the-top choice, so you could have boxed up the 3 for a trifecta as well. But then in the middle part of the card, I was not getting those exactas, but kind of got bailed out at the end. Had a nice cold exacta for $22 in the 8th race. And in the 9th race, it was the top pick over the 4th pick for a $137 exacta. So that was nice to me anyway. And I would have called that a play of the day had I known. The Turf Paradise past performances I picked up the last couple of weeks haven't had any kind of morning line, and I just did not see it. My top pick was a nice $16 horse. So if I had known we were going to get those odds, I probably would have jumped in there at the end of the day as well, which I did personally, and hopefully other folks did when they used the picks as well. But again, there was a little life yesterday at Turf Paradise. Try to keep it going today at Gulfstream. The opener, 3, 2, 6, and 7. The number 3 is Bling Bang, and that if you look at the notes from the last race was a dud, and if you look at the notes, awkward start. Well, I pulled up the replay, and it was an awkward start. The horse did break in a tangle and kind of bump with the horse next to it, but just on visually, it didn't seem that bad. But maybe it was a little worse if you were on if you were Joe Bravo, maybe it was a little bit worse and you got the feeling of that, because that's the only explanation. Just as I say, visually, something, the horse got away in a tangle, no question, but it didn't look that bad to explain that performance. But that's the only thing you can do to come up with an explanation. So I'm looking for the horse to rebound to those prior efforts, which I think are good enough in here. 15-1 on the morning line. I don't believe that's going to hold up, because I think other people are going to, off of that last effort, you got to scratch your head a little bit, but certainly the ones before that are good enough. And I think that trouble line is going to attract attention for a lot of people, and they will excuse that last start. So I don't know whether we're going to get 15-1, but I think Bling Bang is, I'm going to draw a line through that and look for a rebound. Second spot, the number 2, Newspaper Boy, gets a little bit of class relief in here. However, I think this one, who shows some stalking style, is going to have some early pace to contend with in here. So I'm not sure this one is going to have the oomph in the lane to run a race like we saw 3 races back. But I certainly think this one will be up and contending early and can be a player down the stretch. And in the third spot, I have the number 6, Tripolar. Pretty solid fit off of the last couple of numbers. Those were back in November and middle December, so a little bit of a layoff, but not long enough to be a real concern. And again, I think the last 2 showed some nice fitness. So in the opener, I have it 3, 2, 6, and 7.
Second race at Gulfstream Park. We're going to go to the turf course. It's a mile and a 16th. It is a starter optional claiming event for fillies and mares 4 and up.
And I did look at the weather forecast, and the weather for the area down there is rain this afternoon. So I'm going to give turf picks this morning, but I'll also toss out some dirt thoughts as well, just in case things get moved over. On the turf, 5, 1, 6, and 10. The number 5 is Blues and Silvers, just one of those horses who I think has a buyer edge in this particular field. The last few starts out in Southern California just show some nice punch as far as the numbers are concerned compared to the rest of this field. So Blues and Silvers on top. Second spot, we will go to the number 1, Edie. I'm going to kind of draw a line through the last 2. The last time might have been overmatched in a little bit of a stakes race. 2 starts back. That one was on the dirt. It was a dirt sprint. So it gets back on the turf in what looks to be the proper level of the comfort zone. So again, I'm going to draw a line through the last 2, look for our rebound to starts 3 and 4 and 5 back. Joel Rosario on board, that's also attracting my attention. So Edie in the second spot, and Susie's Gal in the third spot, just off of the latest effort, which seemed to be a nice try off of summertime and early autumn layoff. This horse came back early in November and ran well. The layoff since then maybe is a concern that this horse is now kind of some fits and starts getting back to the racetrack since the comeback from a long layoff of May 2012 to June of 2013. So just the fitness for the 10-year-old may be a concern. But again, off of that last effort, which was off a little bit of a layoff as well, I'm going to have to use Susie's Gal in the mix. In the second race, I have it 5, 1, 6, and 10 on turf. But again, they may go on the dirt today because there is rain in the forecast. If it moves over the dirt, I'm looking at 4, 11, and 3.
That's going to take us to race number 3 at Gulfstream Park. 1 mile. It is a claiming event for fillies and mares 4 and up, which have never won 3 races or have not won a race since July 29th. The claiming price is $6,250.
4, 1, 6, and 8. The number 4 is Snitfit. Snitfit's just getting some class relief in here, but moving to the dirt. Now, sometimes that class drop can mitigate the move in surface, and I'm hoping that's the case. This is a pretty significant drop. Last time was for 20, 2 starts back for 16, and has been right in that range for the last few starts. Drops down to just over 6,000 today. So again, a precipitous drop. Last time out didn't show much, but the starts before that were pretty good against better. So again, there's a surface switch, but I'm hoping the class relief can overcome that. Second spot, the number 1, Halo's Gate. The latest effort, I think, fits well with this bunch. That came maybe a little bit out of the blue, off of the most recent races. If you go back, there are some back numbers that fit, and so I'm hoping that maybe this horse is just turning in the form cycle, and we'll be able to start stringing some of these mid-60s to 70 buyers together. If so, Halo's Gate is a nice fit in here today. And then the number 6, Don't Tell Patty, gets some class relief in here, and in fact, I might have been tempted, excuse me, to put this horse on top on the numbers. I think on the numbers, this might be the best horse in the race. But trainer 0 for the meet, jockey 0 for the meet. When we're this deep into a meet and connections are shooting 0-fers, I'm on a wait-and-see kind of pattern. Let them break through before I'm going to jump on board. Now, can it hit the board? Yes. Can it win? Yes. But again, just with these kind of connections, I want to see them get it started, get their picture taken before I'll jump on board. So Don't Tell Patty fits, but again, with the connections that are a little cool, I couldn't move it up any higher today. In the third, 4, 1, 6, and 8.
That's going to take us to race number 4 at Gulfstream Park. 1 mile. It is an allowance event for fillies and mares 4 and up.
And this is a heck of an allowance race. This is like a little stakes race on the early part of the card today. 4, 2, 3, and 5. The number 4 is Centrique, who's just absolutely solid at Gulfstream. 2 for 2 so far, including the win last time early in December. So again, a little bit of a horse for a course angle here. This one comes out of a claiming crown win at 4-5 for Marty Wolfson. Castellano was on board that day, back on board today, and as I say, has a real affinity for this course. So we'll put Centrique on top. Second spot, Ana Luisa goes out for Todd Pletcher, Joel Rosario on board. Question mark here is, this horse moved up from Brazil. I'm always with a wait-and-see attitude with these horses from South America. I'm just not sure what the class level is when they're racing down there. Well, this one had a pretty good U.S. debut. Came up, started in the South Beach on the turf at 7.5, and a nice closing effort to run pretty close up 4th. Joel Rosario on that day, he's back on board. So I think this horse validated the talent. I'm not scared anymore about the move up from South America. I think this is going to be a legitimate horse. The question mark, though, is the move to the dirt. This horse, the last 3 races, has been on turf, but go back to the early part of the career in Brazil, 2 nice dirt wins. So I don't think the surface switch will be a concern after all. So Ana Luisa in the mix, and then the number 3, Giant Cat's Eye, just seems improved since arriving at Gulfstream. Had been the end of 2012 and into early 2013. New York, had a race at Monmouth in August, then laid off until November and December. A couple of starts here at Gulfstream. Again, seem to indicate this horse appreciates that South Florida home cooking. So in the 4th race today, 4, 2, 3, and 5.
That's going to take us race number 5 at Gulfstream Park. Scheduled for the turf, and it's 5 furlongs. It is a maiden claiming event for 3-year-old fillies. The claiming price is $25,000.
5, 4, 9, and 10. I'm going to use the number 5, Harley Go Lightly, the very cleverly named Harley Go Lightly on top. First-time starter. Trainer and the sire certainly can get it done with win early types. This one, I think, has, again, some nature and nurture then. The Dam's a little bit of a mixed bag. This one has a sibling called Sweet Dixie Belle that took 8 starts to win. Another sibling called Nicotina that took 5 starts to win. But there's a sibling called Queen of Rock, won the first 2, then ran second a couple of times. I think there's some nice precociousness with that one. So the Dam can produce some win early runners. The workouts look okay. Gonna take a little shot with the first-time starter, Harley Go Lightly. Second spot, we'll use the number 4, Tough to Stop. This is first off the claim. 4, Kirk Zayedi. He's almost a coin flip in that area, and I think that just on the trainer angle, tough to stop is interesting. And then the number 9, Bachata Dancer, another first-time starter. Not much to report on the siblings, but the trainer does pretty well first out. Bernstein does okay first time out of the box. So again, a little bit of nature and nurture. Trainer and sire, not so much maybe on the dam side, but I have it down in the 3rd position. So I think this one maybe has enough talent to get up there and at least be in the mix. In the 5th, I have it 5, 4, 9, and 10. If it moves over to the dirt, I think with some first-time starters, if they stay in, I'll stick with them. So again, I have it 5, 4, 9, and 10 grass. I'll stay the same if it moves over to the dirt.
There you have it. Seth's selections for races 1 through 5 at Gulfstream Park. We're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll finish out today's 10-race Gulfstream Park card. So please stay tuned. You're watching the OTB TV Network.
I'm Steve Beck.
And I'm Seth Merrill.
Together, we're loose on the lead on Capital OTB, Sundays at 10 a.m. Why should they watch, Seth?
Sit down on Sunday, have a bagel, get some great racing conversation.
Cream cheese only, no jelly. Sundays, 10 a.m., loose on the lead, Capital OTB.
Using CapitalOTBBet.com is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Simply log on with your username and password from the homepage. 2. Fund your Capital OTB account through our Easy Money, Green Dot, or Visa MasterCard options. And 3. Place your bet on one of our 3 easy-to-navigate wagering platforms, Capital Bet TV, Capital Bet Express, or Capital Bet Pro. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Here in upstate New York, no one provides bettors with more wagering options than Capital OTB. Our network of ranch and easy bet locations stretches from the mid-Hudson Valley all the way to the Canadian border and west to central New York. So whether you need to place a bet, fund your Capital Bets account, or watch the next big race, all the action is just around the corner. A full list of our branch and easy bet locations can be found online at CapitalOTB.com. Capital OTB, the better and most convenient choice for wagering in upstate New York.
I got it. Watch me. I got it. Hey! I got something that makes me want to shout. I got something that tells me what it's all about. I got a move that tells me what to do. If you don't, brothers and sisters, then you won't know what it's all about.
I'm Mark Castano. Join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch. We'll inform, analyze, and welcome in the biggest names in racing. So join me Saturday mornings at 10 for Down the Stretch, right here on the OTB television network.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Before the break, Seth gave you his selections, races 1 through 5 at Gulfstream Park. We're going to move along to race number 6, which is scheduled for the turf course at 1 mile. It is a maiden claiming event for 4 and up. The claiming price is $25,000.
9, 3, 4, and 12. The number 9 is Wake Up and Go. Second-time starter, but I think this one's very interesting with More Than Ready on top. Certainly this horse has some win-early potential and win-early potential on grass. The dam produced a sibling called Relatively Ready that was 5th in the career debut. That was on dirt, however. Then in the second start, moved over to the turf and won. In the third career start, ran 3rd in the Pilgrim Stakes. Another sibling called Stormy Relations that was 2nd in its career debut at 12-1. So I think there's precociousness top and bottom, and I think this one might have gotten some good education in the first start. Wake Up and Go, very interesting to me in this race. In the second spot, the number 3, Minstrel Road. A couple of starts so far, and I think with the slate class relief today, could be primed in the 3rd career start. And Ingenuity. This horse might actually better this rating. This is a 7-time loser, but I think this horse clearly fits with this bunch, has some nice early speed. So again, might surprise me, at least as far as where I've placed it. Not going to shock me, though, if it does. But as I say, with the pace and the fact that it was a 7-time loser is what made me shy away a little bit. In these kind of races, I'm looking for maybe a little more lightly raced horse. But off of the last couple, the pace angle and whatnot, I think this horse is going to be very, very interesting and competitive in here. In the 6th, I'm going to do a little 4-horse exacta play of the day, only on grass, because I don't know what's going to happen if they switch over. But if it sticks on the grass, I will box up 9, 3, 4, and 12. I'm going to do a win place on the number 9, either surface. So if it's dirt or grass, I'll still do the win place on the number 9 because I find that horse interesting. And if Michael Matz decides to stay, I'll go with him. But I have it 9, 3, 4, and 12 on the grass. If it's the dirt, if it goes to the dirt, I'm going to stick with those. But keep in mind, if there are some scratches, keep in mind the first-time starter, the main track only, not welcome by with distinction, I think is interesting. Also, the 13 and the 7 are going to be interesting as well. So if it's on the dirt, keep it the same, but also consider 5, 13, and 7.
That's going to take us to race number 7 at Gulfstream Park. It is a claiming event that is scheduled to be on the turf as of now. Mile and a 16th. It's for 4 and up, which have never won 2 races. The claiming price is $30,000 down to $25,000.
3, 4, 2, and 12. The number 3 is Great Rising Star. Gets some class relief. Gets Castellano. Has the best last race buyer, or a very good last race buyer. I didn't actually go through the field. It may be I think it is the best last race buyer, but it's a very good one as compared to the rest of this field, one way or the other. So I think this horse just has a number of check marks you can make to consider this on top. Great Rising Star is my top pick. McElroy in the second spot. Might be primed to stick a couple of good efforts together. This is a horse that hasn't had a chance, laid off from February until September, and then September to December. So there's been some gaps, so it hasn't had a chance to stick them together, but broke through the maiden last time and now moves into the N2L. But sometimes they'll take a start to figure out, start or two to figure out the next level. I think this one broke through the maiden ranks last time in good enough fashion that we can expect a nice repeat performance today. And then the number 2, Abel Baker Charlie. Just think this horse is better than that latest effort. I'm going to look for some improvement today from Abel Baker Charlie. So in the 7th race today, I have it on grass, 3, 4, 2, and 12. On grass, 3, 4, 2, and 12. On dirt, 3, 7, 10, and 2.
That's going to take us to race number 8 at Gulfstream Park. 1 mile. It is a maiden special weight event for 3-year-old fillies.
I have this one 4, 8, 9, and 6. The number 4 is Got Lucky, and this would be, if there was a most likely winner selection on the card, this would probably be at 9 to 5 on the morning line. Nice second in the career debut for Todd Pletcher, and then a near miss second place finish in the second career start, the Demoiselle, a grade 2 event. She was still a maiden and just missed winning a stakes race. So I think Got Lucky is very, very likely to get the job done today for Pletcher and Velasquez. Number 8, Color Me Flying in the second spot. Distorted Humor on top with flying colors underneath, really regally bred for Bill Mott. The Dam ran for Pletcher and Bessie Lou, but the Dam is from the nice Phipps bloodlines. The Dam is by My Flag. The Dam is also a sibling to Storm Flag Flying. So I just think there is some real blue blood kind of breeding in here, and I think this one will improve nicely in the second career start. Third spot, we're going to go to the number 9, Senior Prom. Goes out for Dale Romans, couple of starts so far. Tried the turf last time and may appreciate in the third career start to move back to the dirt. Fun little race, and I wound up again 4, 8, 9, and 6. I'd be tempted to make this a play of the day, but I just think the 4 is going to go off a very short price and is a very likely winner. So I won't pull the trigger on the play, but it should be a fun 8th race.
Oh, yeah, and Got Lucky, the favorite there, the number 4, her debut race, second to Penwith, who came back and won at Gulfstream Park. Third in that race was USS O'Brien, who just broke her maiden the other day at Aqueduct, so that was a pretty nice maiden event. Then second to stop charging Marina Demoiselle. It's going to be tough to beat her today. Let's move on to race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. 1 mile. It is a starter optional claiming event for 4 and up.
12, 8, 10, and 6. The number 12 is Toe's Gray Cat. Just a horse that's in some very good form. The last 4 starts, 3 wins and a third place finish. So absolutely good form for Toe's Gray's Cat. Second spot, we'll go to the number 8, JB's Unk. Another horse that seems to be going well recently, including a nice little win last time. And then in the third spot, we're going to go out to the number 10, Razzo Suco. Another horse that's in some good form over the past few. A couple of good efforts kind of bookend a poor effort. I'm going to draw a line through that poor effort, and I'm looking more at the nice efforts that are right around that, including the last, which was a very near-miss win behind the winner that day, JB's Unk, who I have in the second spot. So Rezo Suko looks like a good fit in here. Ninth race, 12, 8, 10, and 6. The
finale at Gulfstream Park is scheduled for the turf at 1 mile. It is a maiden claiming event for three-year-old fillies, excuse me. The claiming price is $25,000.
And I'm going to do another play of the day. Either surface, a win place on my top pick, the number 8. I have it 8, 7, 10, and 2. The number 8 is Anan Halima, who by Scat Daddy. The dam, this is her first foal, so there wasn't too much info underneath on the dam, but I think Scat Daddy, first time out of the box. This horse, I think, is going to be a little bit interesting in here today. Dylan Davis rides. Trainer can get him ready first time out, but Nan Halima, the number 8 horse, 10-1 on the morning line, I find interesting. We'll take a little shot. Second spot, My Mom Santina, another first-time starter. This one has, again, some nature and nurture going for it. The dam produced a sibling called Heaven in Your Eyes that took 4 to win. I say nature and nurture. There's probably more nature than nurture, but I do think this one is going to be a little bit interesting in here today, first time out of the box. And then in the third spot, the number 10, Hidden Intentions. 9 tries so far, no wins, but I think on the numbers of those that have started, this one's probably the most interesting. So for me, in the 10th, I have it 8, 7, 10, and 2 on the grass. With a race like this and some unknowns, I'll stick with those same horses if we move over to the dirt track today. But again, we'll do a play of the day on my top pick on either surface. Win place on the number 8 in that finale.
And there you have it. Seth's selections for today's 10-race Gulfstream Park card. Before that, I gave you my selections for Tampa Bay Downs. In case you missed any of Seth and I's selections for today's cards, you can go on our website, capitalotb.com. Click on it at the upper right-hand corner where it says Handicappers Report for today. You can see all of our selections. Why don't we take a look at our simulcast schedule today, what you can see on TV here at Capital OTB, where we are starting off with Tampa Bay Downs, my old track Laurel Park, Gulfstream Park, where we're still waiting to see what kind of weather is going to play there for the turf courses in both Tampa and Gulfstream. Beulah, Turf Paradise, Dover Downs, Buffalo Raceway, Northfield, Penn National, and then I can't even read the bottom screen.
Pompano.
Pompano, there it is. I got new glasses too, and I can't still see that.
I'm squinting. I had to squint to see.
We're going to finish up with Pompano. We invite you to stay tuned. Coming up next is Racing Across America with Seth Merrill. Seth, who do you have as guests?
Jeremy Plonk this morning and Jenny Reese. A lot of 3-year-old conversation. Of course, Jeremy Plonk, Countdown to the Crown, but the Louisville Courier-Journal, who Jenny Reese writes for, came out with their inaugural Derby Trail edition this past Sunday. A lot of great info that you can catch up with on their website. So we'll be talking a lot of 3-year-olds this morning.
Always, it's getting exciting, especially after Cairo Prince in the Holy Bull. So Triple Crown Trail well underway. We invite you to stay tuned for Racing Across America. And once again, thank you for joining us this morning on Handicappers Report. For Seth Merrill, I'm Jeff Carl. Have a great day at the races.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off-Track Betting.